What the hell are you doing? Looking into the camera and telling military men and women to ignore the commander-in-chief. How dare you? How dare you do that? That's right, I'm calling out. I never served in the military. That's true. I have family members who did. Some of my best friends have. Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army. I haven't heard one of them, not one of them, say that was okay. How dare you do that? Is it treason? No. Is it punishable by death? It shouldn't be. So the answer is no. But you know better, Senator Kelly. You know better. How dare you do that? What are you supposed to do? You're a ranking senator. You can go to the Senate. You can go to the House. You can draw up paperwork. You can try to start articles of impeachment if you think there's something illegal. I mean, damn, it ain't like y'all haven't done it before. You impeached the man twice. Where'd that get you? Got us behind back in the White House. Had you left him alone since 2020, maybe he wouldn't be back terrorizing the Democratic Party the way that he is. But you did it. You did it. And here you are again with this nonsense. How dare you do that? I'm not a military person, and I know better than that. You don't tell military men and women to ignore an order from the commander-in-chief. You don't do that. Is it going to amount to what Trump tried to embellish and indicate? No. But that don't make you right. How dare you do that? He's the commander-in-chief for the United States military.
I'm somebody who grew up watching Stephen A. on First Take. And to watch his transformation into somebody who defends everything Donald Trump says and does is downright shameful. In my mind, he's no different than any other black MAGA who's willing to tap dance for this current administration. And the saddest part about it all is he'll say whatever he wants, be wrong every single time, and still get invited to The View. Because there's large parts of this population that's not interested in the truth. They'd rather be entertained than be informed. So they'll just sit back, listen in, and wait till the next time he spews some ridiculous mess.
I have no problem with the Epstein files being exposed. I think anybody who's done what Jeffrey Epstein did should be thrown under the damn jail. They should spend the rest of their natural born life in prison if he was alive to do it. But that's not what anybody can definitively associate the president with. He knew Epstein, so did Bill Clinton. So did a plethora of other famous people inside and outside the world of politics. Incriminating emails? Well, what specifically in House significant was it? And when we sit up there as Democrats and we're applauding on the House floor, now that Alita Galva was there talking about she'll be the final vote to sit up there and open the Epstein files, and everybody's applauding for the Democratic Party. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then? What am I missing? I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question. Maybe I don't remember the answer. Maybe my extraordinary producers should be able to help me during the commercial break. But from my understanding, the same files that were open are being opened now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is, with various emails. That could have been done when Biden was in office. Well, why didn't you do it? If it's so important now.
I got a question. What's the difference between Stephen A. and any of the other black MAGAs that's running the streets? Byron Donalds, Tim Scott, Candace Owens, Jason Whitlock, Officer Tatum. He's cut from the same cloth. The only difference between him and them is every now and then he'll show up in a black space, say some black shit, and apologize for his disrespect. While those other people I mentioned, they just don't even try to pretend.
My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? You know what I'm getting, to the Democratic Party, you know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off, and every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case that the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies. And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right instead of them.
Why is he always on the side of MAGA while hiding behind this fake "I'm not actually right-wing" talking point? And it would be one thing if he was actually telling the truth, but this might be the most MAGA thing that he actually does. He is constantly making up stories that aren't even true, all to justify the actions of a guy he claims to have no ties to.
Stephen A. Smith is dangerous. And the fact of the matter is, as I've often said about him, I don't have a problem with somebody jumping into different genres, but you need to apply the same journalistic principles that you use in sports, Stephen A. Smith, to the politics. And you're not doing that in any way, shape, or form. You're serving as a puppet for these guys. It makes me question who you really voted for. And just like with the lady, Miss Lee, the Asian American woman, it seems like people are doing their best to curry favor. This is with Trump and his ilk. This is factually inaccurate, and it's disgraceful that Stephen A. Smith continues to jump into politics when he does not know what he's talking about. And the fact that he would put insurrection with air quotes shows everything that it says about where he really sees things. And people need to really start calling him out like you did tonight when he's doing this type of nonsense. And I can't wait for the clip to share it. Stephen A. Smith, if you're going to jump into this fray, either know what you're talking about or just come out and say you're 100% MAGA so everybody can be clear about it. Because you can't keep trying to straddle the fence and think anybody on this side of the world, meaning this side of the truth, is going to respect you.
I will highlight the fact that Stephen A. Smith is a Republican, and he is too much of a coward, and I will say coward, intellectually and personally, to just admit that on the air. Because the moment that he says he's a Republican, then he can no longer play the game he's playing now, which is, oh, I'm just a Democrat who's disappointed, and now people will pay attention to me.
Stephen A. Smith, his delivery and what he was saying was so confusing. Like I listened to it for about 4 times, and I still could not figure out what he was trying to say. So the majority of us probably will not receive the message that he's attempting to deliver. But on the flip side of journalism, that's very unfortunate, because a simple click of the AP News or any other source would have revealed what the actual report said. So it's kind of like a lazy journalism, if anything. So that's very disappointing. But the good side, no one probably understood what he was trying to relay.
How about you do the damn research before you go on the air on an epic rant, Stephen A? What you just heard is misinformation and disinformation.
My question for Stephen A. Smith is, if you have a show called The First Take, why is your take always so wrong? Why would you assume that those people were just being partisan? Maybe they knew something that now has come to light they may have. Maybe they knew that there is a tape that exists of a Secretary of Defense killing people illegally. Why is it that if you're going to leap to conclusions, you always leap before you look? Why is it your first take is always wrong?
You can see by that montage, and that's only scratching the surface. that he's either severely misinformed or he's clearly signaling to a certain audience exactly where he stands. I mean, all in the defense of Trump, he's condemning former naval officers about issues involving the military. He spun the Epstein situation so well, I was dizzy. And my favorite, he's telling black women how and how not to talk to his precious commander-in-chief.
Now Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
For Stephen A. not to be MAGA, he sure does put his neck, reputation, and everything else on the line, all in the name of protecting the cult's leader. And yeah, I know, he's more than likely just shucking and jiving because he's chasing a check. But I wish he would just cut the shit, grab his red MAGA hat, and start screaming Trump 2028. And I think he would, if not for the fact that it would make it harder for him to switch his talking points the moment this MAGA stuff dies and it's no longer bringing the bag. I never seen a man with the skill level to sound like he stands for so much without actually standing for nothing. I'm out.
What we're witnessing in real time is a transformation, a Megyn Kelly type transformation into a right-wing piece of shit grifter. Isn't that right, Stephen A. Smith? It's times like this I wish I had a bigger platform so he would see this. Maybe he will. But I'll get right to the point. Stephen A. Smith, you're a fucking rat. You're a weasel. Stephen A. Smith is somewhat entertaining. He's a dumbass, but he has a shtick that works for him. He's known for being loud and injecting fake passion. You see, normal people say Michael Jordan was the greatest player ever. Stephen A. Smith would say something like, Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever step foot on the NBA court. And there are no exceptions. LeBron James is the greatest player playing right now. But he can't stand a chance if he went one-on-one with the great one. And I'm always like, dude, calm the fuck down. It's just sports. It ain't that serious. You see, Stephen A. Smith, you know what? I'm not even going to call you that. You're Steve. You see, Steve, you have a moral obligation. When you have a lot of followers, you have an obligation to not report misinformation. Mark Kelly never told the military to ignore the commander-in-chief. He said to ignore illegal orders. There's a big difference between the president and illegal orders. You don't get that? And the annoying thing is you're trying to sell this bullshit with your fake passion. Mark Kelly, a real American hero, said don't obey illegal orders. That's a fucking good thing, you idiot. Like, how fucking stupid are you? Are you that stupid? Or are you just selling out on purpose? By the way, he was right, because they did carry out illegal orders, and now they're being subpoenaed. You see, I ignored some of the dumb shit you said before, but now I see what you're doing here. You're turning into Megyn Kelly. Are you soon gonna defend pedophiles next? You see, Jeffrey wasn't into 8-year-old girls. He was only into 15-year-old girls, and I don't see what the big deal is. You see, Steve, you are turning into a pathetic sellout. You make enough fucking money, dickhead. You need more? You need to sell out more? You need to spread misinformation and hurt more people so you can make a few more bucks? You see, dickhead, the more you hang with people like Bill O'Reilly, the more you get that bullshit in your head. Chris Cuomo used to have credibility, and then he started talking to Bill O'Reilly, and he allows Bill O'Reilly to take over the conversation. He allows him to bully him, and that's gonna be you next. And now Chris Cuomo is fucking worthless. You know your biggest nemesis, who you've trashed plenty of times, Jason Whitlock, that sellout? You're exactly like him. Steve, you're fucking pathetic.